Hello! And first off, I figured out the problem with my trucks, other than that they've all quantum tunneled into each other. And the problem with my trucks is my own impatience. So I ran this game a little forward as a test, and what will happen, as you now see, a train full of Cortina bodies arrives and unloads. Come on, train, keep to time. Is we are making vehicles. We're in fact making minis, and obviously there's the slight disconnect between the sprites for the vehicles coming in and the vehicles going out, and that's what happens at Cowley. Is they take in Cortina bodies and they kind of sand off the edges and kind of grind them down a bit, and they go, oh yes, that'll work, we'll make minis out of that. And then sure, anybody who knows anything about drivetrain layouts and engine orientations and things like that is probably no doubt horrified by my lax attitude to automotive assembly. But we should get that quiet. So anyway, this is now building up. There's going to be lots and lots of vehicles here. So we now really need to expand the Cowley out a bit. So let's have some fixtures and bits. Let's have some truck parking so that trucks do not have to quantum tunnel into each other. They can just park. And so let's have a little road with a fence as well. That would be nice. So we can now have a loading platform. It'll just be this sort of low goods station, I think, 2x7. And there's no point having anything more than by 7 because that's as long as our trains get. And then this can come in here, and this will be the loading. And so this nice kind of, I guess it's kind of little canal, I suppose, is what you could call it. So let's do that. Let's put a signal in there. This will also need a waypoint, so have another Art Deco waypoint. This is actually going to be a loading station, so I don't want to put a path-based signal there. I will put a block-based signal there, and I want exit signals here, so that when things go horribly wrong, these can... that's interesting. So this won't work because I have 90-degree turns off, so the depot can't be there. It has to be on the other side. There we go. That I think will work. And so we need to come back round here, and then we'll just go under the road on a tunnel. Nice. It's more complex than it needs to be, really. But I kind of like having a little bit of complexity to the track layout of these setups. So we don't want to make 86 signals, we want to make path-based signals again. So I kind of like the feeling that this is sort of a proper little industrial thing. And in fact, let's do that with the station. Let's build some more fixtures. We've got the luxury of a little bit of time. Let's build a sort of ramp up here, pointless ramp, and some fenced off bits, and everything sort of facilities that we can have. We could have a kind of shed and maybe a couple of those. That looks quite good. I'd say it looks quite good. It's just okay. It's not high security parking. Maybe we'll have that. It's for prototypes. Let's claim that. So, yes, of course, EA10000s have been around for a while, haven't they? Let's just do some replacement. Let's kind of Can we rationalise that fleet? Is there anything more exciting we could build? Oh, well, we could just build Hoovers or maybe Class 37s. There we go. Oh, that's all good. So this is looking nice. We don't produce that many vehicles, do we? I think because none of these things really arrive together. So maybe I don't need so much. I was going to get a train to load up. Maybe I don't need that. Well, let's see. Is there a nice long vehicles route that we could take these on? So there's quite a few vehicle distributors on there. So this this here, which this is actually a passenger route, so I don't want to put too much that's slow running on the passenger route, so I kind of expect the vehicles to come down here. There is a distributor over here. There's one over here, actually. Ooh, Class 87. Would probably be good. There's one over here. There's one sort of down here. I might just make a... I quite like the idea of taking vehicles across the map. It feels like quite a nice thing to do. So let's have a look at where we can tee this off. This is not going to be the most efficient thing. So this comes around here towards the Brian drop. So we could just extend the Brian drop out. And come up here and drop the vehicles off. This could just be a simple terminus station. There. Yeah, let's have a low good station again. So maybe I'll pop that out there. Maybe 6x2. That's going to break down if we start making lots and lots of vehicles, but for now it'll be okay. And so that can come back up there. So this is our exit route. Which now, how does this work? So, yeah, there you could just tunnel it under there, and will that excavate? Yes, that can excavate. So this is not. That's good to go down that hill, isn't it? So that's going downhill, so that doesn't matter. That can pop into there. There we go. I'll put a depot there as well for servicing purposes and for the purposes of just causing chaos when everything gets replaced. The vehicles are all going to the wrong depots. You know, I may as well deliberately engineer chaos, because then there's always the possibility that I fail at it. That probably shouldn't have its depot there. You should have its depot there. So need to build a train to carry these things. What should carry them? Spoons and hoovers, and I mean, I could electrify the whole thing, but that feels like a bit excessive. So we're still really in the world of salmon wagons, I think. Yeah, so that's fine. Let's do length 5.3. So, and vehicles. It's going to carry 342 tons of vehicles. So it's going to go by Oxford load, and then I wonder if it can route all the way over here. I've not actually checked whether it would be able to route over here, but we should see. We shall see, right? And then Mountain Ash Woods, so conditional auto jump or a service, and that's going to be when the remaining lifetime years is more than one. Otherwise, it will service. Okay, so it's going to be my vehicles group, I think. There we go. So let's put that in there. Vehicles. And I'm just going to have the one, because the trucks arriving here should keep the ratings fairly high. It really produces a fair amount, actually. I think partially these trucks are actually quite good at carrying things places. They actually carry a lot of minis. There's quite a few of them. So let's see how this goes. This is actually carrying Cortinas. There we go. I don't know. Is there enough resolution for someone who didn't put together this set to tell that those are Cortinas? They're just sort of generic saloon cars. I think in fact I did cheat, and I did go for the fact of treating them as generic saloon cars, because I think those are carried until well into the 80s. So obviously this is a universe where the Sierra, which was unpopular when it was launched. Buyers didn't like the whole sort of spaceship styling and all of that. They kind of liked the conventional Cortina appearance, and so the Sierra did struggle a little bit. And Vauxhall sold quite a lot more Cavaliers, because they looked, certainly the Cavalier Saloon, looked a lot more conventional than the kind of space age Sierra when it came out. What's weird is the Cavalier was actually mechanically quite a bit more advanced. The Sierra was still very traditional, rear wheel drive, front engine layout. The Cavalier was front engine, front drive. That was still sort of a bit new and exciting for the early 80s. So I know it's very common now. So this is a universe where people dislike the Sierra so much that Ford brought back the Mark IV Cortina. And in fact, of course, this is a little bit early for them to be building Mark IVs and or Mark Vs. So this would still have been 73, I think. What was that? I think this would have been the point at which the Mark III, the sort of the Coke bottle Cortina was available. I can't remember when the transition between the Mark II and the Mark III was sort of very American styled thing. So anyway, so vehicles are stacking up a little bit. So maybe we should start connecting some of these other vehicle distributors. So we have Dundee, and then maybe we should look at connecting up. Well, what we should connect up, actually, is where do we have scrapyards that are actively being used? So this scrapyard is Boat of Garten, and it's proportional to the town population, but there's another scrapyard I built somewhere, which was in a town which looked like it was going to be a lot more promising, but I'm not sure where I put it. Where did I put my scrapyard? All the way over here, so that's that. Another scrapyard. Oh, that just doesn't... Actually, there's an inefficiency there. And so that really could do with another couple of vehicles on it, just to get the quantities up, because the rating there is poor. So there's a ratings problem there. That's why that's not transporting much. And scrap kind of goes into the top of the chain, the steel, and then comes out the bottom, and actually is really quite... Well, we're done Boat of Garten. So this is... Let's check the local authority done. And I guess it's proportional to Boat of Garten's town population. I don't know. Boat of Garten really needs more passengers transported, so let's start trying to grow that. So I need town roads, because the last thing I want to do is to sort of set this going and then realise that actually what I have done is prevented the town from ever growing at all, because I just closed off its roads. And so we're going to pop some there. I'm going to pop some bus stations in. We might build some more stations in a bit, but let's just start with that. Leyland National, there we go. There's a good British bus. Very sort of common at one point. There's a very sort of, so it's one of those buses that you used to see a lot on. Let's start it going. Let's actually get it timetabling itself. As you say, one of those buses you used to see a lot, kind of just in the background of photos of the mid and late 70s. So let's get that. So let's put that in there. Very, very recognisable with that roof-mounted ventilation unit or whatever. There's some sort of jet engine that assists it to make it faster. Yeah, so let's have a few buses. Probably more buses than we need, but that's those. Well, they will get timetabled more effectively when we have the chance. So, garden stores, that can go there. I am going to distant join it. I just yes, I can't be bothered to wiggle a station all the way around there. I think that would be fine. So this, I'm just going to build some transits and set them going. I think these are carrying mail. Yes, they're carrying mail. Good. Rubber sole's getting old. I wonder what that is. Well, that I think is a kerosene castle, isn't it? Yes. Those are out of fashion. You can't buy those anymore. So we sort of set those up. Yes, kerosene castle. Where are they? Oh, they're an add-on set one, aren't they? So there we go. So that. It's not immensely powerful. Probably needs something a bit more exciting. I don't want. I feel they're just using class 37 for everything, but I think that's probably quite prototypical. I shouldn't really be too upset about that because that's kind of how it works. So what I'm going to do with these, I'm going to just clone a few of them. I'm going to go back to these buses and see how their timetabling is working. So we've got 7 days there. We've got 6 days. 6 days. We'll keep those fairly quick. These will be remarkably consistent because the buses are faster than 30 miles per hour, but they are going to be limited by their. So what am I going to do with these? I'm going to do a very, very cheap way, actually, of spreading them out. I'm just going to make them full load at just one of the stations. And hopefully, Boat of Garten will produce enough mail that works as a means for spreading these transits out. It might not. It might just result in a big queue of transits that then never resolves itself. But yes, probably, in fact, will, because, yes, there's not enough mail. So I would say is I'm not going to full load any cargo. What I am going to do is do a conditional order jump. I'm going to do a conditional order jump back there. Yes, so when they're not loaded, they're just going to keep going back to the first station. When they do get some load, when they do actually have a mail, they are going to carry on their route. So this might actually space these out nicely. And hopefully. So we should have a look now. Let's have a look at the remaining lifetime of our trains. So, Leyland and Stonehaven Express, these have been problematic for a while, haven't they? So what are these? Star classes. So, I haven't really done anything exciting with this. So, I wonder whether Stonehaven Express that goes all the way up to a collection. So, it doesn't actually go that far, does it? The collection's up here. I think I might electrify this. Just on a whim. That's how British Rail worked. They just went, let's just electrify things on a whim. Although actually, the Stonehaven, this Mountain Ridge line, the Stonehaven Express does actually go further than that. It goes down to Carbis Bay. So, yes, so check that we're not going to destroy any third rail, because that would be very bad if we destroyed third rail or fourth rail. But then our trains were no longer working. But electric lime's getting old. So what I'm going to do here is I accidentally electrified Radio Barnes as well. So I'm just going to electrify this. Because I quite like the idea of replacing the Stonehaven Express, which is quite a nice fast train. So that's not a very efficient route, really, is it? Yes, and just make sure we don't kind of get the fourth rail at the same time as we do this. So, Stonehaven Express, I think. Let's bring that over there. So make sure we don't get over keen. I can probably electrify a little bit too much. There we go. So Stonehaven Green. Let's electrify this region somewhat inefficiently. So, and the Class 87's just come out. So, Stonehaven Express. Where are we? Stonehaven Express. Yes, this would probably be quite nice to just replace generally. So, you go to replace the wagons on it and the passenger carriage. That's not part of Stonehaven Express. And replace passenger carriages with Mark IIs. We should replace it with Mark IIFs, actually. Mark IIFs might be nicer. And then Mark II BGs for the brake carriages. And then the engines, the star classes, replaced with Class 87s, which run at 110. That would be quite nice. Nice little bit of electrification. So I think that will still fit in all of the stations. So that's good. These are not yet too old. So there's a problem down in Wellingborough. That's interesting. These are all waiting for a free path. as are these. That's not good. So there's a depot full of trains here, and they seem to be unable to get anywhere. Now, why is that? Why indeed is that? What has happened? So, not a signalling problem there, is it? No. I wonder why that is. What happens if I remove that? Ooh. This is rather... Still waiting for a free path. That's rather interesting. I wonder why that's happening. Something had something reserved there. I don't know why it had something reserved, but clearly there was a problem. I should stop building electrical track. I should. Yes. So what's happening here is this is trying to get round there. I don't know why that happened. Oh, that's a very weird thing to happen. What happened? It has. That should not be going in that direction. So, I wonder whether that's what it is. It was trying to get into there to turn around, and now it has a problem. No. So this should be able to get back out as soon as that clears. Yes, okay. And there's something just reserved a path, and it shouldn't have. At least that should fix that. We should go back to remaining lifetime. So Hermes Line. Hermes Line has problems. Food has problems. These are 5,700 pannier tanks. So let's probably just do a sort of general let's just replace stuff and see what happens. So 9Ns, class 20s. The pannier tanks, I think, again, class 20s. 1400 class, yeah. Yes, well, 1400 class is quite small. So I think maybe... Oh no, the teddy bears really... let's replace them with rats. There we go. That's good. 264Ts we can replace with rats. King class. I think King class is quite fast, so can we still get warships? Or you can still get Deltics, actually. Deltics are a little bit out of date, but I like Deltics. Deltics is sort of a nice locomotive. And then these are just mixed traffic, so I think maybe replace those with peaks. And K2 ragtimers, let's replace them with class 37s. I think Star class. What would we do here? Let's replace them with whistlers. And then prairie tanks can be, again, just class 20. I think there's a few little things here and there which just are not going to really see anything useful happen. So we can stop replacing that. Classifiers can stop replacing. So there's a few things which we're still kind of trying to replace. A merchant navy class, that feels like a good... We want something quite fast to replace that. I wonder whether that should be replaced with the Hoovers, which should be good. CC Electrics. These are third rails, aren't they? So these could be replaced with the HA, and that's a nice little upgrade there. We don't need to be replacing austerities. We don't need to be replacing blue Q1s, and Ivets can go, and the 10,000s have all been replaced. The clans in Britannias, I think we could actually replace this with whistlers, couldn't we? Those will actually go with, yes, these are supposed to be. There's not really another generation of DMU yet that we could replace that with, so we'll leave that there. I think that's good. I think that's a reasonable set of replacements, and I think that's a reasonable place really to start leaving things. Except I will leave you with one coda, which is a thing which I keep saying I'm going to get to, and I never do. So let's just go through this, which is this thing that I built around Cowley, because I want to watch Cowley as we play ourselves out. And I always keep talking about this, and I keep saying this is about multiplayer games and what's acceptable in them. And depending on the group you play with, some have a sort of gentleman's agreement of, don't mess with another man's industries. So as soon as you connect something, no matter how effectively you're transporting things to or from it, that is now yours, and you cannot play with it. There's another school which is slightly less kind of play nice, which is that if you're not serving it at all, then I can have the output. And that's sort of for secondary industries where you're just dumping stuff there, but you're not actually using it. So let's say I wasn't serving vehicles. A few of the AIs go for that rule. And then there's the sort of the slightly meaner one. If you're not serving it effectively, then we're losing a bit of money, aren't we? Oh, no, it's just... Yeah, we should probably look into that, but I think we're okay. Yes, if you're not serving it effectively, even if you have a service, it's fine for me to come and take things because you're not using them. And then there's just open season. You can't compete. Full stop. But at the kind of gentleman's agreement level, this sort of a thing of don't surround your industries with loads and loads of bought land, because it does make it awkward for people to kind of pass them and run their network there. So that's why I say don't do that in a multiplayer game. But it actually depends on your house rules. If your house rules are kind of just everyone for themselves and screw you all, then go ahead, fill the whole map with bought land if you want. But generally, no, it's not a usually nice thing to do. I only want to do it to prevent the AI from competing with me and then having to be bought out. But that, I think, is... Why did that not go... Oh yes. So that simply is because that doesn't go via the unload station. So there we go. There's a problem there's a problem we can fix. And that will be good. And I think that is indeed a nice place to leave it. So I shall see you in a future episode.